For life to continue, there must be evolution. For evolution to happen, there must be trials. And for trials to be successful, there must be consequences. Enter Dr. Fuji, a brilliant scientist who sought to create the world's strongest Pokémon through the DNA of Mew, Phantom Pokémon. And oh boy, did he succeed. Enter Project Mewtwo. Welcome to the 35th episode of Drunk Powerscaling, the show where I hungoverly powerscale my favorite characters.
That was pathetic.
Despite being a test tube baby created in a lab, Mewtwo had quite a bit of trauma, as after forming a psychic link with Fuji's deceased daughter Amber, somehow, they became best friends. But after watching Amber and the rest of his friends die right in front of him, his memories were erased, and he snapped, with one thing on his mind: vengeance against those pitiful humans, and he had the skill set to do so. Although not really standard, for a time he worked under Team Rocket, donning a battle armor that provided protection at the cost of restraining his power. He also has balls, Mewtwo balls, that capture trainers' Pokemon by force. But moving on to the more interesting stuff, there's the Berserk genes, the DNA he obtained from Mew. He can sense these genes should they ever be scattered or removed, even if it's not exact. If he's close to someone with the genes, he can sense them accurately and vice versa. If someone has Mewtwo cells inside their body, they will die due to the cells taking over, with only Mewtwo himself being able to prevent this. That's right, viewer, Mewtwo Cancer is a viable versus win con. Some versions of him can even carry special items too. Here's a list because I'm lazy. Okay, now for his usual moveset. There's quite a lot, so I'll break it down into just the highlights. With Laser Focus, he can guarantee critical hits. Psych Up will copy any stat changes, no matter how big or small. With Disable, he can, well, disable certain enemy attacks, as well as paralyze them. With Safeguard, he can prevent status changes. He's also basically an avatar. Hydrokinesis, Geokinesis, Pyrokinesis, Cryokinesis, Electrokinesis, Umbrakinesis, Photokinesis, you name it. He can even control the weather. He can poison foes with Toxic. Confuse Ray, well, take a guess. Me First will allow him to perform moves of his opponents so long as he's faster. Counter will guarantee Mewtwo can reverse an attack he's hit with onto the opponent with double the force. Protect makes him immune to damage, and Recover heals half of his maximum vitality, with audio dramas stating it can resurrect him from the dead. Yeah, I was shocked too. We of course can't not mention its psychic based attacks, such as Psywave, which can be used for offense or defense. It can even reflect projectiles, trap foes, and conceal himself. It's even how he summoned the infamous Hedgehog Killing Spoon, which can be manipulated into a fork, and because he's extra, Double Spoon, which he can attach together like he's a fucking Sith Lord. He can even augment his physical strikes as well. We can't not mention Psychic, which is just telekinesis. It's also how he flies. He even has a slight resistance to being controlled himself, as well as a resistance to petrification. It was even unaffected from a machine designed to seal its power. Aura Sphere really makes Lucario feel not so special when Mewtwo can use it. Future Sight summons wormholes to fire massively damaging projectiles. Teleport, again, guess. But this does include other objects or people, including into other dimensions. He can even teleport his own attacks should they miss. So, Shadow the Hedgehog, look out when he gives you the Mewtwo Cancer. Seriously, who the fuck thought of this? Miracle Eye guarantees that opponents who can resist psychic attacks will feel pain, and that his attacks always hit. Agility raises speed, Calm Mind, but calms its mind to raise special defense and attack. Light Screen can straight up erase projectiles, Power Swap literally swaps both fighters' offensive stats around, and Guard Swap does the same but with durability. Its signature move, however, is Psy Strike, a huge projectile that gives foes a mental shock. Look, there's a shit ton of moves we could have covered here, but you can read all about them in my upcoming blog. It also has some unique abilities, like Pressure, which forces its foe to exert twice the energy, as well as Life Force, which guarantees passive healing even without rest or recover. Even outside of RPG moves, it can speak through minds and straight up read them, as well as control them. There's also the iconic Mind Blip, with said memories being restorable by Mewtwo. He also somehow knows Petrification, Duplication, Energy Absorption, and Portal Creation. which extends to trapping others inside dimensions. He can even seal others in voids and enter this dimension himself. He can create objects out of thin air, suppress others' powers, summon black holes, put people to sleep, and can even manipulate souls. The audio drama suggests that the Mews are also immortal, the old age kind, meaning oxygen isn't even needed. Mewtwo is also one of the few Pokemon capable of mega evolving on their own, and because it's greedy, it gets to, with Y having the highest special attack in the series, despite its lower defense. Also gaining a resistance to sleep hacks. X gains the fighting type, as well as increased speed when it flinches, as well as some Luffy powers for some reason. It also further expands on Mewtwo's dimension powers. He can even turn into a kaiju willy-nilly. In the Pokémon games, Mewtwo merged with the Shadow Synergy Stone and became Shadow Mewtwo. Look, this borders on non-standard, but like, look at it, dude. Plus, everything in the franchise is technically canon. In this form, he can absorb the synergy power of others, which is essentially like their life force. He can even absorb the Earth's energy as well. Somehow, it can control time, warp the space around it, erase things out of existence, and create subspace rifts. It can even mega evolve in this form. I know that was a lot, and we aren't slowing down yet. Let's talk strength next. With a spoon, he destroyed a skyscraper. He's destroyed part of Cerulean City, teleported all of a giant lake's water into a mountain, one-shot the legendary Articuno, blew up Team Rocket HQ, created a black hole larger than its own head, and like most Nintendo villains, he can create giant storms. Mewtwo even beat Deoxys, who controls the planet-busting Delta Meteor, and by extension he'd scale to Rayquaza, who can casually destroy the same meteor. Shadow Mewtwo can also casually destroy the whole planet within a short time frame, which makes sense since Giovanni stated this is something Mewtwo could potentially do. And Mewtwo helped stop the Tree of Life's descent into the sun, which would have destroyed the Earth. Additionally, Shadow Mewtwo created and lit up an entire dimension with countless stars, which he can wipe out as he pleases. Here's the fun part. In Ultra Sun and Moon, as well as EX Legends, Team Rainbow Rocket exists. And no, Giovanni is not one of us. What it actually is a multiversal team of all the evil team leaders up to that point, each capturing their own legendary. You know, like Maxi with Groundon, Ghetsis with one of Gen 5's legends, Cyrus with the time-space gods, wait what? And Giovanni, the final boss, has a Mewtwo. By nature of video game bosses, RPG bosses in general, and Mewtwo just being a high level, this implies that at least this Mewtwo is stronger than the time-space gods. By nature of the cosmology, there should be an unknown amount of Mewtwo's given he's a man-made Pokemon, so it may not be an infinite number. So if this is a multiversal team, can it even be used? Well, why wouldn't it? The anime, manga, movies, and the millions of separate copies of the games are all their own universe, bear in mind. The whole premise of this team is that it's a scenario where they won, meaning in that timeline, Mewtwo did not betray Giovanni. That's it. You'd have to assume Mewtwo got some Arceus roids or something to debunk this not being regular Mewtwo. Remember, he's presented as the Akuma-style final challenge of every game he's in. That's the point of the character. No matter who the box art legend is, he will still be presented as a better challenge. Hell, there's literally a movie that implies the strongest box art legendaries can keep up with the Creation Trio at full power, as Sonic Force's levels of bad writing as that is. Given the cosmology, I don't even need to go over additional feats to justify the Creation Trio being infinite 4D in power. Hell, possibly 5D, since bear in mind, Ultra Space exists, a space that surrounds and connects the cosmology, which depending on your interpretation could be seen as fifth dimensional. Look, it sucks I can't give you a proper scale here, but it really is scalar dependent. He's large planet at least, solar system level if you can justify using Shadow Mewtwo, or think that the main version is comparable, to upwards of infinite 4D to 5D scaling as well. There's another 5D argument that we'll get into in a little bit. That's a bit more iffy, so perfect segue to speed, because the faster I can run the fuck away from Pokemon scaling, the better. For one, Mega Mewtwo X can sprint 100 meters in 2 seconds. He's dodged an army of Genesect signal beams, caught the faster than eyesight Cinderace, bounced back a Gyarados' Hyper Beam, and his blast traveled at hypersonic speeds to destroy his creation lab. He blocked Magneton's Thundershock, reached escape velocity in seconds, and can fly so fast time appears frozen. And no, that's not immeasurable, you glazer. Shadow Mewtwo's big Genocide attack would need to have expanded at sub-relativistic speeds as well, and clearly he's superior to Ash's Pikachu, who can intercept lightning. Pikachu's can even dodge hyper beams made of light. In the movies, Mewtwo could experience eons of Genesect's memories in mere seconds. Even if we assume a time frame of 1 minute, it's still massively faster than light. Deoxys, whilst within the planet-busting meteor, flew from the edge of the galaxy to Earth in 10 days. He can even react to 50% Zygarde too in the manga. 50% can keep up with Ultra Necrozma, even if not fully scalable. Hell, Mewtwo X's stats suggest similar speeds to UN, lore aside, meaning we can potentially downscale Mewtwo's speed to Ultra Necrozma's by half. Ultra Necrozma lit up Ultra Space, and even flew through it. As mentioned earlier, yeah, this shit is insane. Infinite speed if you buy it just being some alternate universe that connects them all, since, well, finite time and infinite distance. But if we go by the debatable 5D argument, which I kind of agree with, you have to decide on something. Does Ultra Space have a flow of space-time? I mean, it connects to everything space-time related, but is it something that is overseen by Dialga and Palkia, or is it separate from them two entirely? Who the fuck knows at this point? Look, my frustration aside, there is a genuine and measurable argument here to be had via the box art scaling. I know what I said about the manga, but the anime and games contradict this. Just look at the stat comparison between Mewtwo's Megaforms and Ultra Necrozma. But of course, if you buy Dialga and Palkia scaling via Rainbow Rocket hierarchy, Dialga literally being the governor of time itself, means he's potentially immeasurable in his true form. Hell, even in base, he's able to distort time's flow with just a roar, and govern it in places where time is frozen. This all sounds complicated, but manga iffiness aside, with the games and the anime, there's a genuine argument for infinite or immeasurable speed characters Mewtwo can directly scale to. But if you really don't buy him scaling to any legendary chains, then massively faster than Light Plus. Let's talk durability now. He's emerged from an exploding balloon just fine. Tanked a 2k degree Fahrenheit flamethrower from Magmar. He can regenerate after impalement, take hits from Mew, Articuno, as well as Lucario and Cinderace simultaneously. Additionally, he's took hits from Red's Mega Charizard X and an army of Genesects. Of course, he'd have to have tanked the Team Rocket base explosion as well as the island one. He'd naturally be comparable to Deoxys and that fat meteor, and both Mega Mewtwo's even have higher special defensive stats than Ultra Necrozma, and are about even with Dialga and Palkia. Again, RPG stats may not be the way to go here, but it does give further validity to both the Team Rainbow Rocket hierarchy and the Hooper movie scaling suggestions. So about the same as AP for durability, whatever you think that may be. I'm aware this video probably confused you in areas, because trust me, it confused me as well. But I hope I at least opened your eyes to how interpretive scaling for this franchise actually is, placing further emphasis on the fact that in power scaling you have to form your own opinion. I'm just advocating mine, and if you think I'm right, by all means spread it. So TLDR, his hacks is disgusting. The manga tries to make him weaker than box art legends, but the anime, games, and stuff like Pokken, as well as Mystery Dungeon, blatantly contradict the manga and suggest he's equal to legends like Rayquaza and Dialga, who all apparently scale to each other anyways, not to mention the RPG stats, which, using in general, is a debate in and of itself. That is a lot. With all that said, I still hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, and as always, be excellent to each other.